In this video I managed to get an interview with Arb71703. Here's how it went. Enjoy the video. You want to get right into the questions? Or
Yeah, get right into it.
so first question, when did you get into Dash and what made you join the community?
Here, I actually found the exact date like a week ago, so let me pull that up. But it has been, I think, 8 years now. And let me see if I can find it real quick. All right, let's start this question over.
When did you get into Dash and what made you join the community?
So I downloaded Geometry Dash Lite on October 29th, 2014, and then on November 4th, 2014, I, without asking my parents, paid for the game, and ever since then I've been playing it. Uh, I originally kind of knew about the game for like a year before that. Like I saw people on like the bus playing it in middle school, and I always hated it because I was like, this is just the impossible game, so I never really wanted to play it. But then my friend, um, he was showing me the level editor, and he was like going through the songs and the levels, and he showed me Club Step, and I was like, oh wow, this song is really cool. So then I started grinding Geometry Dash so that I could unlock Club Step. And then I finally beat it after around 5,000 attempts. And I think it's still the best I've ever felt beating a Geometry Dash demon, even all that time ago. But yeah, that is when I started.
Alright. Kind of a follow-up question for that. When you got into the community, did you ever think that you would become a GD mod or anything close to that?
So when I first started, well, first of all, mod wasn't a thing back then because I started in, I guess, around late 1.8, but I didn't really start looking at like community stuff till 1.9. Like I didn't really play any user levels, but it was right around the time 1.9 came out. I started looking through like the feature section, like the first like month that it came out. And instantly I was like, wow, this is really, really cool. And I wanted to be like a really good player. And I don't know. For a little while, I was doing well at that, but I think things kind of shifted around the time that Geostorm applications were a thing, which was probably maybe 2016, 2017. And I really wanted to get in because Geostorm's like it's like the phase of Geometry Dash is what I used to call it back then. And I was like, all right, well, I got to get into this. So I started like grinding stars and stuff because there was like you had to have like 5,000 stars, maybe like 100 demons, something like that. It wasn't that hard, but like as time went on and I was getting closer and closer, it was like they weren't just accepting everyone because more people were getting that number. So it was like you need to do something notable to be able to join Geostorm. So this whole time, for that point forward, I'm just grinding like levels and making levels and beating levels. So I've done like multiple extremes. I think I'm pretty good at the game. A lot of insane demons. I've obviously made a bunch of levels now, and I have like 50 something thousand stars, and that puts me in the top 400. So pretty versatile, and it's all because I just wanted to be accepted into Geostorm.
Alright. What is the story behind your username? Because some people have like stories behind them. You don't have to have one, but
Yeah. So, back when I was, I don't know, maybe like 8 years old, maybe nine, I wanted to make a Club Penguin account, and I wanted to name my penguin Bob because I was eight, and I was like, yeah, Bob's a great name, but obviously Bob's taken. So my mom had the brilliant idea, hey, let's put Bob and then your birthday, which is 71703. And I was like, yeah, that works. So I was Bob 71703 for a little while. And then I made a Minecraft account because I wanted to play the trial version, I guess, with that username, Bob 71703. And then obviously, since I'm like 12, I forget the password immediately. So that counts lost to the void. And my mom, again, had the brilliant idea, let's put your initials. So my initials are ARB. So it was just my initials and then my birthday, which is Arb71703. And obviously the number is a little bit wordy, so I have reduced it to just Arb in most places. I still have 71703 on some things because three-letter usernames are hard to get, but I stick to Arb on the things that I can.
yeah. What is the story behind shock therapy? Like how you came up with the idea for it?
Yeah, so it was probably 5 years ago, maybe. I don't know. I've lost track of the time, but I was on a road trip and I was just, it's like one of those road trips where it's like, hey, I want to do something. So I started a level. I found this song on Newgrounds because I think I was looking at like related music to like Ruckus or Night Killer or whatever. Or maybe he liked the song, something like that. That's how I found it. And I was like, hey, this is kind of awesome. So I just started making a level. And I am not very good about finishing levels, so it would kind of just be like a little bit of progress here and there. And then I was like, well, I'm never finishing this because this is super long and I can't finish levels. So I started just grabbing people to help me. So I got Jenkins to make one part. His part is, I don't know, like 30% of the level. And I built maybe 10% at that point. I would like the part wasn't even fully decorated. I was just like, hey, Jenkins, you should build this. And then he did it. And it's like, all right, well, now somebody else is on this. I need to at least finish my parts. And then again, I'm too lazy to finish a whole level. So I got um, Grax and Radiation. And I think originally I wanted it to be a mega collab, but it was hard for me to find people who wanted to build on it and also like were good enough, I guess, but also like they couldn't be too good because I wasn't that big at the time. But Jenkins and Radiation had actually worked on a level before this with me called Overdose. So they were pretty set in stone, I guess, and they have been ever since then. Like they're in like all my mega collabs. And then Grax, I had been watching his Twitch streams a lot, and I just decided, like, I don't know, he was making this level that was not that good. Like it really wasn't good. But there was this one part at the end that was like a duel with like really cool like colors and movements and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I want this exact thing for shock therapy. And that's what I told him too. I was like, I want you to build like this exact style for shock therapy. And he comes in and he starts streaming and he streams every day for like 2 months making this part. But instantly it's already a completely different style. And I was like, what are you doing? So I had to sit there and work with him on the part every single time he streamed for like a month and a half. And honestly, I think it turned out pretty cool. And ever since then, he's gotten significantly better than me at creating. So it was a good choice in the end. But yeah, then it got verified by Luigi, and I kind of keep it alive by doing the Christmas update every year. So every December, I update it to have Christmas decorations, and there's like an extra coin you can get for doing that, just beating it with the Christmas decorations, and then in January it goes back. So yeah, that's about it.
Interesting. What is it like working in the community? For example, what is it like talking to a bunch of people in the community?
I guess that's an interesting question because for a while, like when I first got mod and for a pretty long time, I was like, all right, yeah, I'm a community figure and also like in this position of, I guess, not power, but like I should be doing my part. It's like a job kind of. And I do think at times Geometry Dash just gets like a little too like political. Like things are always just like, oh, this way or this way, and people want things a certain way. And I guess like a lot of the time that kind of stuff is just sort of exhausting. Like I'd get into it pretty heavily and like really get into like deep arguments and discussions with people, and it's like, I don't know. I'd rather just use mod as what it was originally, which is finding cool levels, sending cool levels, and now keeping up with demon suggestions. So I think it's fun, but I've tried to pivot it more recently into just like appreciating the art of Geometry Dash and kind of encouraging people to make levels, streaming every here and there, commenting on stuff I like. I don't get too into like the actual community discussion drama kind of stuff because it tends to go in a direction that I get too wrapped up in or makes my mood worse, stuff like that. So I just kind of do my own thing now for the most part.
All right, it's kind of a follow-up question for that one as well. Some people say that the community is very toxic. What is your opinion on that?
Think, well, I'd like to start by saying that some of my best friends I've ever met in my entire life I met in this community. So there are some excellent people. I think it depends where in the community you're looking, because there are like kind of sub communities within the community. Like there's players and then creators, and then even on top of that, there's like the Twitter community, the actual like Geometry Dash like comment section and messaging kind of community, and then there's like the Discord servers and YouTube and Twitch, etc. There's so many. I think in general it tends to be toxic because, like I said before, it's easy to get stuck in these like very political geometry dash discussions, talking about like all these like rules and what's right and wrong, or like trying to like expose people and hating on levels for not being your favorite style. So there's definitely an aspect to it that I think can be sort of perceived as toxic, but I think a lot of that comes with like the general age range of the game being kind of younger, like tends to be like early teens, maybe even younger than that sometimes. So things get kind of messy, but like I said again, there's some really, really great people, and you just got to know where to look. And I recommend the creating sphere because I've found some of my favorite people out there, and I think that a lot of toxicity that I've experienced comes from the playing community, but not all of them. It's just they tend to be, I don't know. They just tend to be a little bit more exuberant, I guess, and the creators tend to be more laid back, which is nice.
Yeah. What are your future plans in Geometry Dash? Kind of a basic question, but
Yeah, so I guess so it's been hard ever since pretty much achieving all of my goals, which were like getting into Geostorm was the biggest one, and I've been in there for a few years, and then like becoming a better creator has always been one, but I've been in some pretty big mega collabs, so I kind of made it in that sense. But in a lot of ways, I'd like to kind of push for a progression of levels in Geometry Dash to kind of have more like narrative direction. Like not necessarily like a story, but like levels that really like build a world and then take out certain things that really take away, in my opinion, like things like names and mega collabs that really take away from like the experience of a level. And also just encouraging people who are doing things different in the editor, because I think there's a lot of people that look at like feature levels and they're like, all right, this is what I need to do to get a rate. But most of the time there's just like so many of those that they become really boring. So like yes, they're rate worthy, but they're also kind of just like they blend in with the crowd. So I try to encourage people who are making like really unique stuff, and then I don't always send it. Maybe sometimes it's not the greatest, but I'm like, hey, this is really good, and for your next level, I'd love to see it because just like a little bit more quality here, and this is the right idea. Because if they have the right foundation from the start and they're not like diving into like just basic design stuff, then as they improve, their stuff will just get even better rather than someone improving it just design. They're kind of average designs will just go like slightly above average, but also still in that same grouping. So I push for that kind of thing. And I guess also being happy enough with my creations and also making stuff like a little bit faster. I'd like to kind of build faster because I think I've gotten to a point where I'm pretty happy with what I make, but it usually takes me a pretty long time to make them. So I would like to somehow improve that and find the balance between spending a lot of time on a part and making it perfect and spending very little time and making it kind of not something I'm happy with. I got to find like the middle ground there. But yeah, I guess that's my main goals. It's kind of hard to put a name onto like some really specific goal, but I don't plan on ever stopping playing this game, even if I've achieved most of what I've done, because I just enjoy it.
yeah, amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I answered all of those pretty well. I gave a decent amount of detail. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, there's tons and tons of stuff I could talk about for absolutely forever because I've been playing for 8 or 9 years now. You do the math. You heard the date at the beginning. But
Yeah.
um, I I think I got the main points. This was fun though. Do you have any other questions or any other things you're wondering that are real quick?
No, that's it. I think if that's
All right,
enough.
great. That was fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
Have a good one. Bye.